Chapter 1. The Sacrificial Mate. I used to believe in fairy tales. Not the kind with fairy godmothers and pumpkin carriages, but the kind where the love you give returns in kind. Where sacrifice means something. Where no mate doesn't mean no love. I believed all of that for a man named Stephen. I loved him with the kind of ferocity you reserve for fated mates. Except he wasn't mine, and I wasn't his. But I thought that didn't matter. I thought love could make a bond where fate had not. And so, I gave him everything. My parents disowned me when I refused the match they had arranged with the son of a high-ranking beta from the Emerald Moon Pack. They said Stephen was using me. I laughed in their faces. Told them I would prove them wrong. I gave up my place in the Crescent Academy, left my pack, and moved into his quarters like a lovesick pup. When he was chosen as a potential Luna heir in a trial of merit, I stood by him. When he fell ill under the curse of the Blood Moon trial, a tribulation meant to weed out the weak, I took up his punishment. That should have killed me. But I survived. Bruised. Scarred. Burned. I returned to the kingdom after 2 months in exile, my powers blistered but not broken. All I wanted was to walk down that hall, in front of everyone who had doubted us, and see Stephen waiting for me at the altar. And I did. I saw him. In a tuxedo. Under a canopy of moonflowers. With my best friend, Leora, in a white lace gown beside him. They said their vows just as I entered the hall. My legs failed me. My throat dried up. But the worst wasn't that he had married her. It was that he looked at me. And smiled. A cruel, cold, victorious smile. And still I let him speak to me alone that night. He told me it was all a mistake. That he loved me. That I needed to understand the mating bond made him do this, but his heart was still mine. He kissed my cheek. He handed me a goblet of shimmering red liquid. "It's a potion," he said, "to cleanse your spirit. I want you to be my secret Luna." And I drank it. It was not a potion of cleansing. It was poison. I died. But death, it turns out, was not the end. Fate had a twisted sense of humor. Because I opened my eyes, 2 years before that moment. And this time, I would not be anyone's fool. Chapter 2. The Second Chance. Waking up the second time was worse than dying. The first thing I felt was the cold. The second was the crushing weight of memories from a life I hadn't yet lived. My body was 17 again, soft and unscarred, untouched by the torment of the Blood Moon trial. But my soul was weary, old, burned. I sat up in my bed, the satin sheets still familiar. My heart pounded in my chest. The golden curtains I had begged my mother to let me have were still drawn over the balcony, and outside, the moon hung full in the sky. It was the day of the Crescent Academy acceptance ceremony. I remembered it now, with alarming clarity, the day I had met Stephen at the academy gates, the day he gave me that smile and told me I was different. Different. Special. Worthy. He had played me like a lute. I threw the blankets off and stood up, my hands shaking. There was only one logical explanation. The moon goddess had turned back time. Why? I didn't know. But the pain of betrayal, the slow burn of Stephen's lies, and the agony of watching my best friend tear my heart out, all of it was still inside me. I would not make the same mistakes. I wouldn't throw my life away. And I definitely wouldn't waste another breath on Stephen. At breakfast, my parents stared at me. "Janet," my mother said cautiously, "you haven't said a word since you came downstairs." I looked at her, truly looked at her. Her silver-streaked hair was pulled back in its usual elegant bun, her eyes tight with worry. My father, a proud warrior, sipped his tea without comment. I had defied them for Stephen. I had broken their hearts. Now, all I wanted was to make things right. "I'm sorry," I said simply. My father blinked. My mother nearly dropped her fork. "I shouldn't have refused the Crescent Academy," I added. More silence. Then my mother stood and wrapped her arms around me. For the first time in years, I let her. I didn't go to the academy gates that day. I didn't meet Stephen. Instead, I kept to myself. I took my seat in the back row of the Luna Strategy lecture and focused. I had 2 years before everything would come crashing down. 2 years to build myself. 2 years to prepare for war. I met Leon on the dueling field. It wasn't romantic. It wasn't even civil. He knocked me flat on my back within 30 seconds of the round. "Too slow," he said with a sneer. I glared at him. "Try saying that again after I've broken your nose." He laughed. The other trainees stared. No one talked to Leon that way. The alpha heir of the Shadow Howl Pack was infamous for being brutal, distant, and utterly unbeatable. I wiped the blood from my lip and stood. We sparred again, and again, and again, until I finally landed a hit. He staggered, and then he smiled. "Impressive," he said. "What's your name?" "Janet." He tilted his head. "You're not like the others. You have no idea." Leon kept showing up. At training, at lunch, even in the archives, where I buried myself in books on pack law, ancient lunar rituals, and forbidden magic. "You know more than most warriors twice your age," he said one night, leaning over my shoulder. "I've been through a lot." His eyes darkened. "Haven't we all?" We grew closer. Slowly, carefully. I was still afraid of being used, of being hurt. But Leon was different. He didn't push. He didn't promise forever. He just stayed. Chapter 3: Whispers in the Blood Moon. The blood moon loomed. Even in this timeline, the ancient curse was drawing near. I could feel its pull like a thread beneath my skin. Leon noticed too. "You've got the mark," he said quietly one night, tracing the faint red glow on my palm. "It's nothing. It's not." He stared at me. "You've survived something. Something dark." I turned away. "Don't ask questions you're not ready to hear the answers to." But he didn't leave. He touched my cheek. "When you're ready to talk, I'll listen." And I believed him. I didn't expect to attend Stephen and Leora's wedding again. But fate was cruel. They moved the timeline. The event came earlier. This time, I didn't walk into the hall uninvited. I watched from the shadows. Leora glowed. Stephen beamed. The potion was on the table, just as before. But this time, I took it before he could hand it to me. And I poured it into the fire. When Stephen came to find me, I was waiting. "You look radiant," he said, reaching for my hand. I pulled it back. "I know what you are." He blinked. "What are you talking about?" I leaned in, smiling. "Try me again, and I'll finish what the blood moon started." He paled. Leon was watching from behind a pillar. His eyes glittered like obsidian. Later that night, he kissed me for the first time. "I should hate how good this feels," I whispered. "But you don't," he murmured. "No," I said. "I don't." She couldn't let go. Not even when I disappeared. Not even when she married Stephen. Leora was always a shadow in my life, waiting to consume the light. She found out about Leon. And she wanted him too. "You don't deserve him," she hissed. "You're still the same weak little girl who died for nothing." I laughed. "I'm not the one who needs a man to feel powerful." She slapped me. I hit her back. That was the first of many battles. Chapter 4: The Luna Within. My powers awakened. Not just the average enhancements of a she-wolf, but true Luna gifts, light manipulation, spirit binding, flame channeling. Things lost to legend. The moon goddess had truly marked me. And with power came enemies. But Leon stood beside me. "You were made for more than him," he said, holding my hand as flames licked my skin but didn't burn. "You make me believe that," I said. "Then believe it." And I did. He came to me, bloodied and broken. Leora had betrayed him for a new alpha. He wanted my help. He begged. "I loved you," he cried. "No, Stephen," I said coldly. "You loved the way I loved you." And I walked away. To break the blood moon curse forever, one bearer had to fight in the sacred arena. I volunteered. Leon tried to stop me. "It could kill you." "I've already died once," I said. "This time, I choose how it ends." The arena was fire and fury. I faced spectral wolves, dark witches, shadows of my past. And I won. I broke the curse. Leon met me in the clearing under the stars. "I knew you'd survive," he said. I leaned into him. "You waited for me. Always." He kissed me. Not a kiss of desperation. A kiss of home. I was crowned Luna of the crescent moon. Not because of who I loved. Not because of blood. Because I earned it. The wolves bowed to me. Even my parents, once estranged, stood with pride. And Leon, he was my alpha now. But more than that, he was my partner. My equal. Leora tried once more to ruin me. She failed. Stephen disappeared into exile. And I stood before the pack as a symbol of strength, love, and choice. Sometimes, no mate becomes the right mate. And sometimes, the second chance is the one that saves you. I smiled at Leon across the council chamber. "I love you," I said. He grinned. "Took you long enough."